Just line
You
this
adjust
up.
yours.
We need to
And we need to sit together.
We just need to sit quite close.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the changing room. I mean, we don't really have a strict intro, but here we are.
Yeah.
And then cue music, and away we go.
As ever.
Angie and Rebecca talking through the changes that we're going through. So we say the M word, menopause.
Yeah. But what do we think of it as? We think of it as this wonderful mental.
That's right. It's a menopausal.
It's something that we go through, come out transformed at the
That's
other
right. Keep moving. I say through the portal. You know, when you're going through a portal, you just have to jump, like in all those movies where the portal opens up, Harry Potter and stuff. You just have to jump and get in there. You can't hesitate.
So in a way, it's like the changing room is platform 9 3/4, or whatever the platform is. I don't know what I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that, and I think I've used up all my Harry Potter knowledge.
Yeah.
But I loved that scene.
I don't remember the scene. I don't remember seeing the film. I just remember reading the books to my children when they first came out.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Right. Yeah.
Hannah must have only been 11 when Harry Potter came out.
Yeah, right.
And she's now 32. So.
Oh, 32. So you started a bit before me, because mine is 11.
I remember being the mother of an 11.
12.
Oh, I remember being the mother of a 12-year-old. It can be quite challenging.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he's pretty good.
Nice.
I think I just have to be a steady presence is what I have to be. So he's really not interested in me telling him what to do or being guided. I think he's very independent, and I just need to be there in the background and ready for when he does come to me to tell me stuff. But he tells me a lot of stuff either in the morning before he goes on to his gaming machines, or at night. Sometimes he just gets when we've turned off all the devices and gone upstairs, and then he just wants to talk to me a mile a minute. So that's where we are now, and it'll be somewhere different probably.
I think that's all we can offer our children, really, isn't it? We can just be there for them and offer them the safety net, I suppose, especially when they're coming into teenage years, that we're there to listen and to support and to be what they need us to be.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's quite hard for us as, I'm sure it's the same for fathers, but as mothers, I think that's quite difficult, because in a way, we're kind of encouraged to have more input than that in our children's lives. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily seem like enough. Do you know what I mean? So
who's encouraging us?
Well, some sort of, I don't know, perhaps school, or, the children's school, or, they're kind of saying, you need to take a very active part in your children's life. That can come across as we're expected to almost interfere in our children's interior life, when actually it's their lives.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky. I mean, I think I was a bit too much helicopter at times. And it's just that whole thing. It's like if they're doing an activity and then you're putting your 2 cents in, just think, just let them go. And I think every child's different too.
Yeah,
of course. Some I could have got a child that needed more.
Yeah.
But I think you get the child that we're going to go off what we're supposed to be talking about today.
What are we supposed to be talking about today?
We
kind of said we were going to talk about mothers.
Oh, I said that was plan B. But what was plan A? Overwhelm. Yeah.
Overwhelm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stick to the plan.
Should we stick to
the
plan? Okay. So today I said we was going to talk about. Oh my God, if my grandmother could hear me, she'd just. Today in the changing room, we were going to talk about overwhelm and how to stop feeling overwhelmed by everything, by life and the world. And I think I have to practice this on a daily basis.
Not being overwhelmed.
Yeah. I have to talk myself down.
How does that feel for you? That kind of realization that actually this is just all too much at this moment. How does that actually feel? So how do you know that that's there?
Okay, so it feels like I feel really rushed, anxious. My thoughts are all over the place. I'm jumping from one thing to the next really, really quickly. And there is a desire to just like disappear and numb out doing this because I feel all over the shop. And I start to feel stressed, and also maybe I start to procrastinate too and not do the thing that needs to be done next. I'm not in any flow.
Yeah. I mean,
I really don't like it.
I think
It's
if you
horrible.
can spot that in yourself, that's really good, because sometimes I don't realize I'm going through that until I'm so far into it that I just want to sit under a table and cry.
Yeah.
So I don't always pay attention to when it's building up.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. I think the other thing is, if I'm not enjoying cooking the evening meal, then I'm overwhelmed. I love cooking so much, and usually I'm like, I know what I'm going to cook. I've got a bit of a plan. And if I go into overwhelm, I forget about all that planning and all that kind of enjoyment of eating and making a nice meal. And I'm just in this survival mode.
So that's a moment where you would really notice, like, it's been too much. Something's been too much today because I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah. So at 5 o'clock, if I haven't got the meal like sorted, I'm thinking, I have been rushing around too much today. And, there's a temptation just to sit on the couch and numb out. But, I haven't been doing that lately because, I've had stuff on, which has made me really happy, and it's much better. And I'm trying not to go back into that because I feel like I have got a lot coming up the next few weeks.
What you have, I mean, with the exhibition and everything, you have had so much going on. And every time I've seen you, you have been, I know you've just been painting constantly. But you don't feel overwhelmed by that. You haven't. It feels like
it comes across like that.
Okay, it does. Yeah,
a couple of hours. Not really. Yeah,
because I was sort of wondering how that workload with creating your art, even though it's something you really want to do and it's really enjoyable, do you ever feel overwhelmed by the creative process?
No.
That's lovely.
No, because once I go into that space, and I'd have a little ritual to light the candle, put the music on, barricade myself into the studio so no one can come in. So once I'm there, and music is a massive thing as well to help me get into that flow state, then it's all just joy, I mean, the only problem is sometimes that I have, like this morning, I started at maybe 6:30 in my studio, but I wasn't painting, but it's all planning. So there was 6 till 9:30. That's a long time, but that's like sweeping the floor, organizing my palette, getting some new canvases ready, prepared.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all of that.
Yeah, it's kind of prep and
That's more time. The time that I will spend painting, I mean, I've done all the planning. I don't know. The time that I spend painting, I have no idea. It just goes to a completely different space. But it was hard to do that today because people were coming in, knocking on the door. My phone was ringing.
And it's Wednesday and it's market day and everyone's out. And,
So, but I still feel like I've got my creative rocks off because I did it a little bit and I got prepared and I thought about what I'm going to paint, and people rang and said, "Oh, can you paint this?" And I mean, that's just all awesome as well. So that's all part of it.
But that's not a side that you feel overwhelmed by at all.
No, but I feel like with this, my art stuff, I'm getting much more organized. So I've got a big whiteboard in my studio. Someone rang up and said, "I want to buy, a painting for my daughter who's got a special birthday coming up." And as soon as I hung up, I wrote his name and what sort of thing is the budget. And then I'm like, that's sorted, you know.
Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? How having that kind of deciding to be that organised makes so much difference. And sometimes I'm the kind of person that kind of fights against that organisation. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm going to keep everything in my head and I'm going to know exactly where I'm going. Whereas actually just writing it down.
I mean, the thing is, I miss out on the sale if I don't write it down. I forget. I mean, and I did that for years and years and years. So many years. And I think working with another artist and making sure that they didn't miss out on any sales. So we had a big sales board, and any inquiries that came in were on the board. And then we have to talk about that every week at which part of the, you know. And so I realised I need to do that for myself.
Yeah, so
that's
you kind of were doing it for him, and that really helped you in your own commercial side.
I mean, I sort of knew I had to do that. And to be honest, before I was working for him, I did have a book and I'd write it down, but then I'd lose the book, blah, 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 blah. And so for me, and the same with him, like we had spreadsheets and things where we do sales stuff, but actually it's so much better on the board where we can all see and talk about it. And so I do that in the studio as well. So it's just behind my easel, all the commissions are listed. It's so much easier. I mean, I just think little things like that. It just doesn't have to be stress.
So can we apply that same process to, I don't know, other areas of our life that we might get overwhelmed with?
Yeah.
You know,
writing it down is massive. Yeah.
Writing it down, but having it somewhere that we can see.
Yeah.
So not writing it down. I mean, I know a lot of people write things down on their phones and use their phones. I can't use my phone that way. It doesn't work for me. But having something like quite in your face, quite big, that you can't avoid.
Yeah, well, I have got, you know how you have wallpaper on your phone that comes up every time. So I have got that on. See, that's my list there. Look, folks, that's my to-do list.
So that's quite clever. So you photograph your big.
So what have I photographed? I think that's written it down on a piece of paper and photographed it. That was for my art exhibition. So actually that's all irrelevant now. I haven't updated my phone. The other thing is that I buy whiteboard markers and I write on mirrors. So I write on mirrors in my bedroom. I've got a big long mirror, and so it's got all my goals on it.
Oh, that's a nice way.
Yeah.
To do it.
So I just wake up.
You can't avoid seeing that, can you?
No, it's good. And then the inside of my wardrobe, nobody knows this, but the inside of my wardrobe has all my favourite people on it. That I want to, like, you know, I want these people in my life. I haven't written your name up there, but it's going up. I haven't written on it for ages. I'm going to put Rebecca. But so I look at it because I feel like, I don't know if it's my ADHD. I don't even know what's going on in my brain, but I literally sometimes I forget that I have a friend. I feel like I forget I have friends. Yeah. And so having it in the inside of the wardrobe means every day I open it up and I go, you've got friends. I love all those people. People that inspire me. Idea. They're in my life. And some of them are in Australia, but it's like these people make my heart sing, you know? And so it's so good because I'm like, oh, these are the people, and there's 5, 6 people I have to see when I go back to Melbourne, because these people, I just love them. And it might be someone that I've known for a few weeks like you, or it might be someone that I've known forever that, you know, I wouldn't, I need to consciously make sure that person stays in my life because they're just, I just love them.
Do you know, I'm going to go home and do that. I'm going to go up to my kind of office space is at the top of our house, and I haven't done anything to it yet except chuck stuff in.
Yeah.
And where my sewing table set up, but nothing else. I'm going to go up and I'm going to write on my wall in front of my desk where I look my list of people that I have in my life that I love and that make a difference. And like you say, you might not always get a chance to connect with them that often.
No. But
just being able to remind yourself they're in your life, that's lovely.
Yeah, and it's so good. I do feel like remembering that, mate, you make the effort, you make the phone call, or you get the phone call. It just puts it out there. You can manifest like these are the people. And it makes, I just think it's been a game changer for me. Because you make sure they're the people that make you feel good. And you know, sometimes it's like, you know, this person and they need to come off. You know?
I was about to ask that. I was about to say, and then I'm thinking, is that kind of a bit too intrusive, really, to ask you, but
no,
are
it's
there
fine.
times where you have to say, do you know what?
Yeah.
This person
Yeah.
doesn't need to be here anymore. I kind of let them go.
Yeah, I say putting them in the blue bucket. And I don't even know, I thought I got that expression from my friend. And then I said, oh, you taught me about putting people in the blue bucket. I love that. I still use that. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I still say that there's a bucket and people, you know, they're in the blue bucket. And they're the people that, you know, maybe for whatever reason, but it's usually they are vexatious to my spirit in some ways. That's a word. Is that
lovely.
vexatious?
That's a very nice word.
They're you know, I'm feeling like for whatever reason, and they go into the blue bucket. So sometimes, you know, it might be, I don't know, it might be anything, but it's just like, you know what, this isn't going to work out, and then you could put your energy, because that's what it's about. People that give your energy, and then the blue bucket are the people that, you know, just drain my energy.
Yeah.
And oh, that's right, my friend that taught me about the blue bucket she had this whole thing about radiators and drains and people that drain you and people that like just make you feel like, whoa, I'm so energized just
people
from
that
seeing
help you radiate.
Yeah. But it's so good. I love that. I love that whole thing about seeing people. Like this morning, just stepped out my front door with my cup of tea. The market was on. Saw Rachel from next door. We had a bit of a chat. And afterwards, it was just like, oh, yeah, you know, I just chat to them for 30 seconds, but I already feel like, yeah,
I mean,
it's cool.
I've really noticed that much more in Bridport than living in London.
Yeah.
And obviously, I take the dog for a walk in the morning, round about the same sort of time, 8 o'clock, something like that. And just having that half an hour, it's not an exciting walk for Jackson in the morning. It's just, you know, what you need to do. But there's always someone to say, oh, hello, how are you today? Yeah. Good morning. Da, da, da. It just makes really good, such a difference.
Yeah. But
really
can I say something else on that? Because last week I did think there's a few people that I would have put in the blue bucket, because every time I see them, oh, this is what happened to me on Sunday as well. So Sunday went to this dog show, and I was there painting at the back of the tea tent.
Yeah, because you paint dogs, don't you? Yeah.
I was having like, if Angie's painting, then I'm, you know, in my happy. So I was painting, and this happened to me twice, that people came up to me and just had and because people, I don't know, for some reason, sometimes people really want to tell me their really darkest, deepest story. And anyway, so two people, I didn't even know them, but both of them wanted to tell me about like how this terrible thing was happening. And I was just like, I knew, my instincts told me that there is no way I'm the only person that person said that to. It's like, that is your calling card, and that would be, so it's like, oh my God, I feel so terrible because this has happened and this has happened, and maybe really legitimately, but just like taking it all in and almost want to share, you know, pull you under with their trauma. And I'm not saying, like, I'm an empathetic person, and I'm like really happy to hear people's, you know, stories and stuff. But like, if I don't know you and you've just come up to me and said, this is this trauma, and it might be something that happened, you know, those people that just can't wait to tell you this horrific thing that happened in our street, or this horrific thing that somebody else did. I mean, to me, it's the same thing as gossip. It's just like, that is such a waste of energy. It's, I don't want to be involved in that kind of thing. But then I also thought on Sunday, this person coming up to me and telling me that, I'm thinking maybe they don't really feel seen, and just an act of charity, I'll listen to them. Yeah. But that's the end of it. It's like, you are just going around telling everybody you are this, you know, this damaged
Yeah.
from whatever, and bringing everyone down with you. And I just feel like there's a lack of responsibility in that, because they're a victim, and I'm just a bit the sort of person that goes, and this might sound a bit harsh, like I'll listen to it for a while, but like if you kept telling me that for about 6 months, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing about it? Which sounds kind of cruel.
Well, no,
But
because
it's like, you're just sitting in your shit.
Yeah.
And people that go, I'm this, or I'm just so fat and lazy, or whatever. It's just like, okay, yeah, that's how you're feeling now. But my approach to life is very much like, yep, that's where we are now. But, maybe you could do something about it, or maybe, and I know not all the time you can. Oh, God, I'm raving on, but you know what I mean? It's just like, just don't bring me, like,
and that is then
you have to be aware of what effect that has on other people.
That's then overwhelming someone. Again, it's that same sense of, this is your stuff. We've all got stuff. We've all got shit going on. We've all got stuff. And yes, it is good to share with other people.
Yeah,
it's very good to do that.
It helps talk about it.
Yeah.
But
But
100%.
like you say, in a public space, a stranger you've never met before, why does that person feel the need to dump all of that?
Right.
To dump all of that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if it's about how much I know the person in some ways.
So even someone that you know really well.
A friend, I definitely would give a lot more time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
it does
of
make
course.
a difference.
It does. Yeah. I was wondering how soon that friend would go in the blue bucket.
6 months. Yeah. I think
and
so.
I'm not being
because
facetious and making light
of
this, because I know you're not. I know
because
you're someone that's very caring. But
and then the thing is, people have, they have a divorce or somebody dies or something, and it's like, mate, you'll
listen.
Yeah, and I'll
support.
bloody be empathetic as well. But it's not. It can't all be about that. It can't all be about that, because it's not all about that. Like you said, everybody's got their shit. Because I feel like I don't want people to stay stuck, Rebecca. I feel like I'm a troublemaker, that's for sure. But I think the saddest thing in life isn't that people die. I think the saddest thing is people are still living but not doing anything, enjoying it. They're not enjoying it, or they've pretty much just put everything on hold and just gone into fear and just like in survival mode. I just want to get through this. I mean, I think that's so sad because we're all here to help each other. And, there's a lot of people that could be doing a lot of good that are, I mean, not even doing a lot of good. It's just like doing what their talent or their service to the world, or just what makes them happy, what lights them up. And by not doing that, what a waste. What a sad. I mean, that's what I feel like for me is the number one saddest thing. I mean, actually, that's not quite true. That's not true. There are a lot of other sad things too, to do with kids and women, and
that is certainly
white slave, slave trade and all. I mean, there are actually lots of other terrible things, but in terms of what I think we can do stuff about, it starts with that. God, we just got really deep there, and now I'm getting a hot flush. I'm like, what?
I think that I really get upset when I see people who have so much to offer and don't recognise it in themselves. I find that really upsetting, and I would do anything I can to help someone overcome whatever that is, be it fear, be it shyness, be it reticence, be it lack of confidence, whatever it is. I will try and make someone feel better about themselves, and that they can recognise those aspects in themselves, and that they can just take whatever step they need to take to go forward with that. But if we can't always be that person.
No.
Because otherwise
actually,
we will get overwhelmed with other
you
will,
will, and it could bring you down. And I just feel like actually it's like when the plane's going down, you have to give yourself the oxygen first. And I know that the thing about doing everything you can for other people, I used to do that, and actually I wasn't able to, especially with people that I love, and maybe even now as well. I'm not able for them to see the amazing gifts that they have put on hold. That is really sad. But I can only say that I tried that for decades and decades. And now I think the only person that I can bring to fruition is myself, and is my own like talents. But I don't know. I feel like, okay, I've done that, and maybe if there was a way that we could give people permission and to help them to see. Is there?
Yeah, and well, I know when I had the magazine, lots of women said to me, in seeing the stories I was sharing, the things I was doing, not just even the magazine, on my Instagram, it would give them permission to feel able to do stuff that they wanted to do. I wasn't doing it for that reason.
You were?
No, I wasn't.
No, for you.
I was doing it because that's what
you wanted to do. Yeah.
I don't, to be honest, I'm not someone that gives a lot of behind why I do things.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not saying I'm not introspective. I do think about that, but when I do something, it's just like, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, let's do a podcast. You said to me, do you want to do a podcast? Like, yeah, great.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I
don't analyse it too much and think, oh, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
What might people think if I do that?
We're not doing that now, are we?
That's not.
I know. I'd love to. Yeah.
So maybe just the fact that we are like that encourages other people to be like that.
Let's hope. To wear a silly hat
and not care. Not care about. There's no outcome dependency on this. We're doing this because it's a really quite fun thing to do.
Yeah.
One morning a week. It means we actually get to chat and see each other, which is nice.
Yeah.
But there's no kind of thought necessarily to the outcome of it, is there?
No. I mean, I feel like I do it. Well, I feel like it's just I do it because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And that's it really. And if it helps someone, great. Okay. Yeah. But also I do feel like you have to be the change you wish to see in the world. I know that. Thanks, Mahatma Gandhi. And I just think, well, if I think there should be more, women's voices talking about things that matter to them, then that I'm doing that. And then my world changes, and it has to change because I'm doing that which I really give a shit about and care about, and that's so it's made me so happy, and it's not because so I don't really care about the outcome, I mean, to say that, I sometimes do when somebody says, "Oh, I really like what you do on the thing." Like that really does make my day. But
it's always lovely, isn't it?
It's ego.
Really, but we're allowed an ego. I get really, to be honest, I'm a yoga teacher as well as all the other stuff I do. And in yoga we have this sort of thing like, leave your ego outside the space. Don't bring your ego onto the mat. Yeah, that's all great stuff. But we do need an ego. We do need a sense of self, of that kind of, sometimes it's really important. And I can be a great doormat. I've been a doormat lots of times in my life. And sometimes I actually need to say to myself, no, you are important. Your ego matters.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the ego thing. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, 100%. We've got an ego, and that is part of the human experience. If we didn't have egos, we'd all just be, flying around. We'd be angels or whatever. But yeah, I think, but I think my ideal contribution to the world isn't just to big myself up and make myself
absolutely
feel significant.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah.
But I guess there is part of that too, because when you feel like, oh, my life really matters, because I'm no.
But no, you see,
your significance comes from.
But if you feel you as an individual have a right to take up space, matter, feelings matter, your voice matters. That's, for me, that's a really good starting point, because I'm also then saying, just as much as I matter, you matter, and you matter, and we all have this right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because if I'm going, if we're doing, go on. Sorry.
No, go on.
I'm interrupting. You go.
No. Because go.
Were you going to go into the human rights?
No,
we all have a right.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. No. I feel like I interrupted.
No, you didn't.
Okay. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Anyway, ego is a big,
it's that thing about helping people. We've got
coming from your ego.
Well, because you think other people are important. Well, yeah, it has to be like, what about you too?
And I think, I don't know, I do see, we're talking predominantly about women here. I do see so many women making their needs less in order to accommodate what other people want and need.
Yeah, but I also, I know that's true. And I feel like the other thing I've learnt from doing that is that those other people don't really care whether or not you do that quite often. Like, it doesn't necessarily land.
So if you're sort of stepping back and going,
oh no,
you go first.
You go first.
That person doesn't care, doesn't notice, doesn't appreciate. I mean, what?
I think what I'm thinking is, so if you go, oh no, you go, that other person might be, no, you go. And then we're all just standing there,
no one's
really,
taking
really
any
too
action
polite, going, no, you go. And I feel like as women, we could just be standing around going, oh, somebody go, somebody, and it's actually not that it's like all in, but the thing is, it's about articulating what you need, isn't it?
It is,
and that being important. So the overwhelm thing, to get back to that a little bit, it's like, are you able to ask for what you want? Are you able to say no? Because for me, not being overwhelmed is all about congruence, and alignment. So everything that I'm doing, pretty much, obviously that's not always the case, but generally speaking, is in alignment with my values and what I care about, then I'll get a lot less stressed. And if I can spend a good amount of time on the things that I really, really care about, like my painting or have we just gone off?
No, we're still talking about overwhelmed, because it's being overwhelmed by a project, being overwhelmed by another person's needs, being overwhelmed just by the sense of so much to do in a day and not enough time to do it. And all the kind of shoulds that we add in that perhaps we don't need to. Can we go through that list? and take the shoulds out and just do the things that we know
Yeah,
make us feel
they
good.
should go in the blue bucket.
They should.
The should.
They should.
Oh,
The
I
shoulds.
should be friends with that person, or I should be doing this. Yeah. We just need to put them all in the fuck it bucket.
Yeah.
Because it's not so many of those things. It just doesn't matter.
Exactly. We fill our days up sometimes,
We don't care
with
about
things
it,
that
and it
don't
doesn't matter.
I'm trying to think particularly at the moment, what am I adding into my life that really doesn't matter? I think I'm pretty good about that at the moment, because I am being quite self-centered and doing things that I really...
Discerning.
Yeah, okay.
I know that should be okay.
It feels a bit selfish to me.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. But that's just for me. I don't think that about other people. I just think, if I spend my day doing the things I really like doing, that's big.
I know. I mean, the thing is, I feel like that can be true, but if you can enlarge it to see that the wider context of that in some ways. So to go beyond your ego a little bit, like with the painting, you think, you're selfish just spending all of your time painting. But actually, I look at the other women that came before me that wanted to paint, but they had 10 kids or whatever was going on that wasn't acceptable for women to follow their creative passions and stuff. And so I feel like, this isn't just about me and my painting. It's about me doing what I really want to do, what I feel called to do, what I feel guided to do, what is the point in being alive if you cannot take those things that light you up and make you feel alive and joyful, whatever it is. I for me, I just feel like that's what it's about. And that includes helping other people, because how good is that? To be
because
kind
it's a nice
to people
feeling.
whenever you can.
Yeah. That is, and there's lots and lots of scientific research that shows that actually altruism is actually quite selfish, because it's in some ways really, really good for giving and kind and caring and sharing. And that in almost than the person that we're giving to.
That's so true. That the universe right there. Thank you.
Love.
That you get as much. Yeah. So that they say you're on the love train, you'll be right. You'll be less overwhelmed. And also, even last night I was reading an article in the New Statesman. God, doesn't that make me sound like about the benefits, the physiological, medical benefits of being community minded, of thinking about, like you said, being altruistic, thinking about other people as well as yourself. And it has benefits, not just, for the community that you're serving, but for your health, for your heart health, all of that stuff. Because those connections, bring you in alignment.
So I have with this, my favourite social scientist is a lady called Barbara Fredrickson.
Oh.
And her research is just, this woman is just amazing. And I actually got to meet her.
Really? Oh, I don't know her.
So she is, I can never remember what university she's at.
She's in the UK.
No, she's in the States.
Oh, okay.
So she's a social scientist who's a positive psychologist.
Oh, okay.
And her work is predominantly now around love, and how love and the vagus nerve and these sort of fabulous communications and connections. And she talks about filling our days with micro moments.
Right.
So you're walking on Bridport South Street and you're smiling at someone and you say, oh, hi, how are you? Da, 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 da. Oh, those shoes are great. Or, oh, I really like the way you
love your nails.
You might never see that person ever again.
Yeah.
But you've created this micro moment of connection, and that actually physically affects our brain, the mirror neurons in our brain, and it goes through our vagus nerve and down to our gut, and it has a physiological impact on our body, our heart health, our respiration, our blood pressure. And if we can build these into our life, we are doing ourselves not just emotional and mental good, but we are physically becoming stronger.
Yeah. Resilient.
The science behind it is just fascinating.
It's unreal. I'm so happy you said it. Totally fits in with our topic as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Resilience is important. And I do feel like, even though I've got on all these things, I feel pretty freaking resilient because of that I am connecting into something, you know. I have an opportunity to have lots of micro moments. So even though, like, I'm doing these events, working with other people, podcasts with you and it's like, it's not just me by myself.
Well,
that stresses me
also,
out.
I guess what's interesting about that is we can actually create an environment where we can have these moments.
We're having a micro moment.
If we choose, for instance, as an artist, you could choose as an artist just to completely isolate yourself in your studio, put your head down and work. You could choose that.
Yeah.
And yes, being creative is good for you. But you know that you need other people in your life.
I do.
And so you set your day up to enable you to have those micro moments.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Yeah. It's like, that is really true. And it might just happen at the supermarket checkout is my favourite place to have micro moments. One of them. Oh my God.
Micro moments.
Just do that in the little thing. And it might be somebody, I'm one of those people, I talk to people at a supermarket, but, you know, especially if it's kicking off and
and you can see someone's stress.
I just feel like it can make such a difference. Or talking to, you know, the people on the checkout, just having a bloody human moment. It really helps me, because otherwise you just feel like you're this consumer going through this, you know, kind of like factory process.
And that for me is the overwhelm. That's the overwhelm. If I feel I'm on a conveyor belt and I'm going at a speed that someone else has put in place and it's not my choice, that's when I feel overwhelmed.
That's so true. Yeah. And that's so true. Yeah.
And sometimes I might want to go fast. Sometimes I might want to have all these like bing, 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 bing. Oh my God, all these thoughts, I've got to get down. That doesn't overwhelm me. But if someone else is driving me in that space, and that's not where I need to be at that moment, then I'll just implode.
And sometimes I think that maybe that's the effect of social media as well. Oh my God, just having an epiphany now.
You have one every week.
I think I have them several times a day,
sure
but it's about the speed, isn't it, of the scroll? That isn't a speed human beings were meant to go at. That level of information at that speed.
We're not programmed to absorb that at all.
Oh my God, that's overwhelming us.
Yeah.
And the fact that I would want to go and do that when I'm already overwhelmed is like that's bad. That's bad.
How?
Look at it.
That's like
it's dangerous.
It's like the same thing. I mean, I'm not. This is a bit sounds
What?
So if we're going to that space when we're feeling overwhelmed, we're thinking, right, I'm going to give myself a minute on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if we're already feeling overwhelmed, that's like
with a packet of chips.
That's like being an alcoholic and saying,
it is, isn't
I'm going to go and put myself in a bar.
I know, which I get that as well. Sometimes I think if things, I totally get that, people going home and just like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have a drink because I've got 10 minutes until everybody gets home and I have to have the dinner ready and blah, 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 and I'm just like feeling effed already. I just want to give myself a little bit of pleasure. But I mean, I totally get that, but it's so unwise because, I mean, I don't know, for me, certainly, alcohol gives you that bit of stimulation and then you have that even if we're just talking about blood sugars,
sugar, yeah.
you're going to have a dip. You're going to have a drop.
Yeah.
If I had a drink before I cook a meal, and then 7 o'clock I'll be on the couch, that's all over, Red Rover. There's no way I'm going to get up and take the dog down the beach, which I usually try and do, because it's fantastic. Once I get down there, I'm like, oh my God, look at this sunset. Oh, I'm so glad I came. But, you know, if I'm, you know, making bad choices that evening, and, you know, I'm not perfect. Sometimes that can happen or whatever. Then it's really hard to get off the couch and, you know, get out there and look at the sunset and feel alive again. You know, it's pretty much a write-off. But I get it. But yeah, we talked about the numbing out last week, and I think the overwhelming, like you said, like stopping it before it gets to that point where you're just like, you know, crying on the kitchen floor and stuff, and
recognizing it's coming.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have a choice to stop that freight train before it derails you. And but it always comes back down, doesn't it, to that sort of paying attention. Paying attention to our emotions, paying attention to our feeling, paying attention to our gut.
Yeah.
Or, you know, for some people they might suddenly realise they've started, I don't know, getting sweaty palms, or, you know, not even a menopausal hot flush, because I think stress and overwhelm does bring that on. Definitely.
It does feel very similar.
I know it doesn't happen to me anymore, but I used to get, like, my chest used to start getting red.
Right, yeah.
And then I'd have very red cheeks. And if I noticed that, I could start taking some deep breaths and thinking, okay, why am I feeling this sense of everything crashing in on me and things just getting too much? But most of the time when I was younger, I didn't bother to pay attention to it. I just carried on down this particular...
I'd just have a drink. It was really easy. Well, I think I used to go out nearly every night in my early 20s. So I didn't ever get to that point of I mean, there was, you know, there were all sorts of what do you call it? You know, diverting behaviours.
Yeah.
Which is why at 27, I think, full-on panic attack. Because I wasn't dealing with, you know, the gradual, and then it all. I mean, you know, sometimes it could have been hormonal, chemical as well. But yeah, just taking time to, like,
and I think it's
decompress.
Also actually quite important to say, because a lot of this stuff we're talking about, I've been talking about today, is quite mental health related.
It is.
And there is a difference between being able to deal with your own sense of overwhelm on a daily basis, or something that is more serious than that you do. I mean, I don't want to sort of, you know, say blah, 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 trigger warning or anything, but there is a point where you also have to recognise that you can't deal with this on your own, and you do need support from someone else, be that your doctor, your GP, or a different mental health practitioner.
But I mean, I reckon that not being able to deal with stuff on your own, and it's good to talk about it, that applies to everybody. Like, full stop.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't think we can get through this shit by ourselves. That should be just normal. But instead we're like, we're just me. You know, you need the eye contact.
You do. Says the person that always wears the sunglasses.
That's all right. That's okay. We can do that. We can do whatever the hell we want.
You know,
we can do whatever we want.
This is me hiding. This is me hiding. Always.
Does it have to be that? Couldn't it?
No, I'm afraid that is what it is. If I'm being really honest.
The sunny.
No, I do like them.
We like the
look. But the honesty is.
Like the look. The look is good.
As a child, I was called the girl in the cupboard.
I feel cooler
because I was so shy.
Were you?
This is my protection.
The shyness protection. Yeah. That's okay.
I'm being really brutally honest.
But I think that's fine. I mean, I feel like, everybody has strategies to, like, get through. That's cool.
Yeah. You see, I can stand up on stage for someone that still thinks of themselves as very, very shy. I can stand up on stage and, you know, I
Give a
can
TED
perform. Talk. I can do any of that stuff. I can present my research to a hall full of really amazing professors and
kings and queens.
Do that really easily as long as I've got my sunglasses on. Yeah.
I like it.
And it does give me.
I think it's fine. You can do that, and that might be my signature as well. You know, I just think, mate, just do whatever the hell you want. Oh, look at those pink shoes.
We are actually getting to almost finishing time, and actually, what we always have to have a little smooch, don't we? Oh, this place is dangerous. A smooch around the clothes.
Oh, okay. It means something different in Australia.
Oh, it probably means something different to most people.
It means like
no. You see, for me, it means loving the clothes. A little smooch.
Smooch around, looking at clothes. Yeah, I think that's mooch around.
Oh, it probably is.
It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we get the nouns wrong, does it? I think the intention comes across.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the clothes. We know that.
Yeah.
I've already
like
spotted this bit.
I'm
going to go and show you those shoes.
I'm going to go and find
so there's some pink shoes over there. Can I just say the thing about shoes is I really love shoes and I enjoy looking at beautiful shoes, but I would never wear them just because I just need to have comfy feet at this stage of the game. I don't know. I need to run when I need to run for a bus or just go for a run. I need to be able to feel like I can just run. And it's that whole menopausal, keeping on moving. You know, if somebody's like to just be able to wear those and then I can't run.
Let's see the shoes.
I can't get the shoes.
I'm going to show you the little dress that I fancy today. This is just such a little me dress. It's really cute and I love patchwork.
Oh my God, I think you can wear them with these shoes.
Oh, I know I'm going to buy this dress today.
Are you? What about with these shoes? Isn't that pretty together?
I moved to Bridport, I don't wear shoes. I spend my whole life.
Yeah, that's what she's. That's it. That's the menopausal boot right there.
Yeah, we're walking everywhere. Sometimes it's muddy.
I was eyeing off a pair in the market today, but they were one size too small. But aren't they pretty?
They are really pretty.
They would look pretty with the dress in theory.
Pretty. But I just don't have that life anymore. I have a life where I need.
I don't have a life.
Whatever I do, I need to be able to wear the chunky boots. Pretty.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. We're not just sitting around being decorative. We're getting out there and we're doing shit. And we need to have shoes that support that, support our arches and our lifestyle. There you go. She's just going bananas.
You see, this is a Comptoir de Cotonnier, which is exactly. I mean,
is that a brand?
Yeah, it's a little French brand. I love this brand. I've got a couple of shirts from Comptoir de Cotonnier. This is again, you see, really good little dress
very
to wear,
delicate.
With
I need to have bold.
Really little cute dress to wear with boots again. I like a nice. You know what? Okay.
Because there's a lot of similarities between those two dresses.
These are school dresses for me. I loved school summer dresses so much when I was little.
Yeah, they are. That is.
And I used to make my mummy take me to John Lewis and buy other school summer dresses to wear during the summer holidays.
No way.
Because I just loved them so much.
You would buy school uniforms from other schools to wear.
Yeah. That was my treat.
That's
amazing. That was my, we'd go and we'd buy holiday, I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Talk about creative thinking.
So
it never even occurred to me.
And they were beautiful cotton, and they were, lovely, and they were my summer holiday dresses. I would dress up in other school uniforms in the summer holidays.
God, that's amazing.
And these dresses are school dresses.
Okay, I think this is sort of floral. This is though, because a lot of them were plaid and checked and stuff, weren't school dress.
So London, there were a lot of London day schools where they were little.
Really?
I can think of at least
and
three.
They all had the same little floral numbers.
Just different florals. I mean, school dresses. I tell you, there's a whole amazing thesis.
But we're talking about uniforms.
Yeah, school uniforms. Yeah.
Well, the nuns wouldn't have had any of that.
See, Hannah and Martha were at an Ursuline convent, and theirs was a blue and white floral.
Oh my god. This is nice.
That's lovely too. I spotted that last week. Look at this. Look, this is gorgeous.
That's
The print
nice.
on this.
No, I mean the thing is, we were called frogs at school because we had these green school uniforms that were this colour.
It's 12 o'clock.
That's that colour green was our
That's
school uniform.
lovely. And that is a really beautiful negligee.
Yeah. I mean,
That's gorgeous. Wouldn't that
yeah,
look
that's
lovely
got St. Columban's written all
But
over it.
wouldn't that look lovely with
Oh, the
jeans?
nuns didn't get to wear this stuff, that's for sure.
That would look so nice with jeans, Angie.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wore this colour for 6 years. I will never wear it again. Sorry.
Oh, it's all going on, and I think
That's it.
that podcast has chosen to go.
It's gone. We've gone over our limit. Okay. Have we gone over our limit? Is that it? No, we need to end it now, though. We've gone
right.
on for too long. I hope you enjoyed this podcast about how to not be overwhelmed. Love yous. Have a great week. See ya. See you next Tuesday.
Yes.
Do you know that's rude?
I know.
See you next Tuesday. It's not Tuesday, though. I don't know how to turn this off. I'm going to close that. End the stream. The screen will stop immediately and you'll no longer. Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
good. Bye.
See ya. Love you.